Attention, citizens. It's time for Super Pulp Science.
This is Super Pulp Science, where we talk about how a genre gets made. I am GMB Kamichuk. I am a working artist, writer, graphic novelist, and my long-suffering co-host, Justin Curry, has emerged again. He is now in charge. Go.
Well, you guys just did your first little convention of the year. I wanted to hear about that.
Yeah, technically that's true. Now, Justin is known the world over as Chasing Artwork. If you are only 2 episodes deep into our recent catalog, you may not know his voice. So myself and Lyndon, I'm supposed to do this. Lyndon Rachanka is taking the role of producer today.
It doesn't always go that well.
No, it's true. It really. He does his best. Speaking of building the airplane as we fly it, Lyndon Rachanka and I were both invited as guests to JimmyCon.
JimmyCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what happens. I used to teach at St. James Collegiate. Lyndon used to attend St. James Collegiate. And we were both invited back as alumni to a student-organized, student-led mini convention that they had arranged as a fundraiser.
Super fun. A high school put on a Comic-Con.
That's right.
And
their grad committee.
Yeah.
Wow. Was it gymnasium?
Yep. Just
Wow.
in the gym. And they had 25, maybe even
Felt like a lot. It was very
30
full.
vendors.
Yeah, it was a full gym.
What's with this school pumping out artists?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
I mean,
so cool.
not all of the vendors were artists from the school.
Okay.
No, the other piece there is one of the teachers is connected with the what would you call it? Like speculator market in comics, so like alternate covers and
The comic book
books.
collectors.
Yeah, the comic book collectors of the world,
The back issue collectors.
flippers.
Yeah.
But the thing about them is that they show up
Yeah.
wherever the
That
collections are. They come, and that
it's
was
like Transformers fans. Like they're very niche.
That's right.
And they're very interested in their one specific thing.
Yeah, so it was really wild. I kept saying to Lyndon that all of the Rolodexes in my brain are getting confused.
Right. Your past teaching.
Yeah, the past
Coworkers.
teaching, the student names, the coworker names, the convention people name, because there were some people we knew from all of those worlds, and it was a lot. It was a lot for Gregory's Rolodex,
Nice.
but it was fun.
So you guys shook off the cobwebs and set up for the first time. And are you guys doing anything different with your booth this year, or
We had a lot.
business as usual?
We had some talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's a different crowd. I was saying this to Gregory. When I'm standing in my old high school gym and like my former teachers are coming by to chat with me, I'm not trying to like foist books into their hands.
We're not hard selling anyone.
It's not a hard sell show. It'd be kind of like tacky to do that.
Yeah.
Or like people that want to come around just to visit. You're not like trying to chase anyone away or.
So this is more like low key,
Yeah.
chill, almost like a social event.
For us, it was at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Those are nice, having those every once in a while.
There was a moment where I was so the way this high school gym is organized is there is a lifted section where the bleachers are. So the main gym is sort of in the main part, and then a level up, half a level up is another. So I was remembering a time way back where I was sitting in those bleachers during an assembly right around the time I was making the decision to take the leap and do creative stuff full time, and thinking like, where will it take me? I wonder where it will take me. And then I'm there in the same gym back around. So like,
This is where it took me.
Took you right where you already were.
Didn't take me very far, just in a different context. So it was, it was really nice. And
Is this going to be an annual thing?
We hope so.
they hope so too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great feedback from the community. There was a lot of front-facing student work that was available there. They had a table that sold prints of student artwork that the art department had helped the kids arrange. Heidi Werner, who's in charge of that there now, she had reached out to me, a former colleague, a physics teacher and an art teacher. Combine those two parts of the brain. It's amazing.
Nice.
And we put her in touch with Print Shop Winnipeg to do all their printing, formerly Vantage.
Right. Anyways.
Yeah, it messes me up. But same great quality, different company name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it all worked really nicely. And shout out also to St. James, Miss Werner's physics class. There are 2 teams now in the physics class. One of them routinely sends a package to space via a weather balloon, where they design the instruments that will register scientific experiments, basically, that the kids design, program, and then send to space. And now she has
it falls down and it has a GPS
and then they have
tracker.
and then they have to find it. Yeah,
That's
they have
cool.
to hunt it as it falls from space. And it's like this great. You feel like a scene from Twister without the twister, where you're just like roaming around farmers' fields looking for a dropped space capsule instead of a tornado. And then she also has a team called the Beam Team that this year is booked time on Saskatoon's particle accelerator. So
Saskatoon is a particle accelerator.
Yeah.
They're doing crazy things out there
Wow.
in Saskatoon.
That's cool.
So it's
They've
not
got the
exactly
room
the
for it.
Large Hadron Collider, but it's Saskatoon's answer to the Large Hadron Collider, and they have
The Small Tune Collider, as it's called.
Really?
No, I have no idea what it's called.
I wish it
I
was.
really wish it was.
Okay, so we're going to call it that from now on. So the reason I bring this up is all of that science stuff is going on in the school, led by the same person who is also an enormously talented illustrator, painter, artist. And so she's running the art program and a good portion of the science program at the school. Now imagine if you were a kid coming in saying like, I wonder what kind of skills from school I should apply to my life. I just feel like this is such an admirable example of a blended set of skills on both sides of the curriculum. And so I have a lot of respect and admiration for the things going on at St. James Collegiate.
Yeah, nice things about a one-day show too, especially to start the year off. I was reminded of all the things I need to now get done for a bigger show.
Right.
Like one of my squares is dead. I need a new square. We have no bags left. I need to buy bags. Like
And this is good to figure this out now, not at a 4-day
Right.
Calgary convention.
a 40-hour weekend
Yeah.
at a convention. Yeah, it's way, way better now.
Now, with much lower stakes, it's very similar to the reason why an infantry soldier is supposed to pack their bag and go on a 7-day hike with it. Right? You don't take untested gear into battle.
Right.
Right? It's the same kind of thing. If you do a little
You buy
low
hiking
stakes,
boots, go for a
That's right.
trek in those hiking boots before you go on the big hike, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to break them in.
Yeah.
and speaking of break 'em in, emphasis on the break,
Where are you going with this?
every show is potentially
Oh.
one suitcase's last show.
Did you lose a suitcase?
Yes, my yellow beast.
Yellow beast.
Yeah, it's the big
Oh,
one.
the
It's
big one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it's a gooder. Big hard shell. It lasted a year and a half longer than I thought it would. So we had a memorial service. It blew a wheel, just completely ripped free of the casing. And
Yeah, we'll pour one out for it later.
yeah. Now, it may seem a little hyperbolic to make such a big deal of a suitcase, but part of the way we run the whole show is a big, huge hard shell suitcase that's very light, very durable.
That's the thing. Like the more durable it is, the heavier it gets. And weight is such a big component of us traveling around to different shows. So we can get these like Pelican suitcases, which are like, can withstand a small grenade,
Yeah.
but they weigh 20 pounds before you get anything in them.
So
On the other side, you can get a hard shell from Walmart for $30.
yes, it's super light, but
It's
it will not
super
last
light.
more than one show. So yeah, there's these
But you can fly with it.
yeah.
And sometimes they surprise you. There's been some real we've bought some pretty inexpensive suitcases that have lasted longer than Samsonite suitcases that
I
cost
know.
a couple $100.
It's weird,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's true. So this was, like you say, I'm glad this happened on the road from the studio to my house and not on the tarmac in Toronto. That would have been a lot worse.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
The other thing about trying a little local show is if you have new anything, it's important to develop some pattern
Yes.
about how to talk about it.
Your sales pitch, your elevator pitch for your new book, your new project.
And so being in a very friendly place, I didn't feel like I had to have it nailed. Like I didn't feel like, oh, if I don't have the slug line of this project down to a 30-second, like it was no sweat. Like we were chatting with
Actually, like
friends.
some of these projects, our bigger projects, we're talking $10,000 to $15,000 worth of cost, and then all the time you pour into it as well. And so when it comes to that first show, like you really need it to start making its money back. So if you fumble on that sales pitch, it feels like you're, wasted a lot of money and a lot of time on something. So there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Now, what are you going to tell people about Spark Chasers?
It's not ready yet.
It's not yet.
What Spark Chasers is my next book, but coming up right away, I have a print deadline set in March. So a couple weeks from now, my next art book is coming out. And as part of me getting stuff down for my next graphic novel and for the art book, there's a huge chunk of the art book that is just the finished pages of Spark Chasers that I've done, and I'm finishing a bunch of new pages. So I've used it as kind of a milestone, a finish line in the middle of Spark Chasers to have a bunch of pages done for the art book. So
well, that's nice because then the hungry people who love your process will be able to see how it's all coming
everything together. And it's been a great excuse just to zip around the graphic novel and like finish this spread, this part, that part, because those are all going to be great for the art book. So it's been again, I can't tell you artists out there enough how much the art book has been a great project to work on, to chip away at, and I'm so excited to have another one at my table. So, art books.
I also did another. So, my head is somewhat fractured right now. This is important caveat is that I have these different facets of how I express the different creative outputs. One of them is, of course, comics and graphic novels. One of them is role-playing games. Another one is some film and television work we've been doing. And each day of January, I feel like I have been having to pivot completely in a different direction, like every other day of the calendar, just to kind of not drop any of
in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
But in a relentless, like it felt like totally relentless. And then right in the middle of that was this little life raft, which was actually on the clock a huge amount of time that I was quote unquote working, but it was so delightful. I did Game of Toba. And so it's Friday.
Isn't it a one-day show? Or
no, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was basically, Friday and Saturday go until midnight.
Yeah, so this is not normal.
Midnight.
This is not a comic convention or a normal craft sale. This is people get together, big groups of people, and they do long-term board games that take hours to like set up and play and do. And so it's less about the vendors and it's more about
that's right. There are some vendors
games,
there, but for mostly it's discover, play, connect with people.
People who put together those like the Warhammer models, like
all
bringing all their kits out and setting up and
this is serious gamers doing serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Surrounded by casual gamers who are just looking to learn something new or try something fun or meet people.
And a small smattering of vendors selling.
That's right. Selling games and really stuff. So like amusing games and game night games and a few others are. Black Sideshow though always sets up there.
Yes,
that's a local Winnipeg favorite. So I did this, and what I thought I had done was separate my schedule so that I would sort of do 2 hours on, have an hour off, 2 hours on, have an hour off.
Sorry, 2 hours between like running your game and running your table.
So March is Dice Month for me. We are soft launching the Danger in the Details core rules system. And so in advance of that, I was
got a play test.
Yeah, play testing a few of the finer refinements. We're no longer writing or changing. It's now just refining, like seeing what can be distilled, cutting down, what can make it smoother, what can make it more direct. So what I thought would be sort of a few on, a few off, and then would sort of stretch. There was so much interest, and I was frankly having such a good time that I basically just played straight, like all those nights, all the way through till midnight with a brief stop for a meal in all those days. And we
just having too much fun.
Just having too much fun, and I tried a thing that I hadn't tried as explicitly before as I had, which was I had created a game supplement, a module called The Incident at Gloom Lake, and it was a Minus Institute setting. And each session, their storyline compounded with each new group of players.
So it was carried on.
So I would use details from the last group. The MacGuffin, the functional part, was that there's this incident going on in Gloom Lake, and there
Gloom spelt cleverly or just like it?
not that cleverly,
No, just like
it sounds. Yeah, and the way the storyline was for people who wanted to participate, you would opt in. If someone sat down and said, "I want to try out this game,"
Yeah.
I would ask them, "You were either involved in the incident or you're investigating the incident. That's the only thing you get to know before we start." And so they would choose, and they would sort of be in one of the two camps. And it created this very easy way for people to join and have knowledge that added to the group that was currently playing. So some people would, sit 3 hours at a time and have a different, if 2 or 3 people in a table of 8 stayed for 3 hours, it would be different people filling up all those slots for the rest of the time. And it just made this amazing repeating story break kind of vibe where each time new players sat down, I had all the body of work of the last players to draw upon to make things weird, interesting, to have plot threads for them to follow up. And then those players would come back and then find out like, oh, yes, you've solved my murder. Oh, you've, it was a really fun.
It's like the writers of your show are changing every season.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. And so we ran this huge, long Gloom Lake incident over 3 days, and it was a marvelous thing. And so I came back on Sunday, and, Monday morning I'm going into work, and Tara says, that's my wife, dear listener, she says, like, didn't you just work all weekend? I was like, no, I was on vacation. It feels like I felt so recharged by everybody else's enthusiasm with what we were doing. So
yeah, you're engaging with them and playing with them. You're not trying to sell them on something, which, like, I say that we soft sell people our work. We go to conventions and get to gush about how excited we are about them, and incidentally, people buy them. But
it's somewhat infectious sometimes.
Yeah.
So the month of March, though, I've got 4 Thursday nights in March at Game Night Games. They have a private space, a new annex space that they've opened up that I'm going to be doing some Kill the Sorcerer, so set in a sword and sorcery world around the Danger in the Details rules. I've got a private room booked. If you're a dear listener and you're interested, you just go to Game Night Games website. You can look up Danger in the Details, and if there's a spot available, you can book it and jump in. And then 2 front-facing Saturdays, so you don't need to book anything. I'll just be there. I don't remember the dates of those ones, but they'll be on the website.
and on your social medias as well.
That's right. Yeah. So all of March. Basically, March is Dice Month, and I'm also at PrairieCon one of the weekends of March, which is a Brandon.
Is that what it's called?
There's 2.
It's not called PrairieCon.
There's a gaming convention in Brandon, and then there's PrairieCon, which is also in Brandon.
I haven't heard of that one then.
At both of those.
Yeah, I saw the one for not PrairieCon, the other one. We're at KubotaCon. That happened
end
in March, end of March.
Yeah.
Another one-day show, which I'm very excited about. So the whole crew's going to be there.
We're going to have such fun.
I'm not going to be there.
Aren't you?
Yeah, the whole
KubotaCon?
crew.
No. The whole crew is going to be there, except for
Whole
me.
crew.
Why can't they find their pops, man?
Because he's probably dead. His body will come popping up in the last reel somewhere. Eyes gouged out, fingers cut off, teeth knocked out.
It's called Westman Gaming Expo
That's
in
what it's
Brandon.
called, yeah. So
Different from PrairieCon.
we went to the first ever one, I think, last year, and it was really fun. I had a great time.
Weren't the hours crazy?
Yes.
It's a gaming thing. So there are some vendors there, but the main focus is these people who have set up, a Warhammer table that took them hundreds of thousands of hours to paint and construct and build, and those matches take 3 to 4 hours. So it goes.
Oh my gosh.
late. They don't expect the vendors to stick around the entire time, so it's kind of 2 separated rooms. So the gaming goes late, the vendors kind of shut down, and
Was it 2 separated rooms, or was it the same room, Gregory?
They had a little from column A and a little from column B.
Okay.
So there were some side rooms that were bookable, and they ran late into the night, and then they also had places where you could play inside the vendor area, but they closed that down when they closed vendor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was great. And they also last year had They had armored knights dueling for most of the weekend. We had a front row seat to the armored battles.
Very violent. It was great.
Yeah, like full contact, not Nerf, not boffer stuff for those of you who are in the know, but like real full weight armor battles. It was kind of amazing.
So we don't have time to do this on this podcast, but I had an idea for a story break that I really want to put into your heads now, so you can think about it until next week.
Dun dun dun.
And I think this is perfect because this is kind of ghost supernatural related story pitch idea. And Lyndon, you are part of the team that does Laundrymen, who's all about supernatural mysteries and demons and possessions and monsters, right? Gregory, you've
It's
got...
like, what if Scooby-Doo had a drinking habit? That's what Laundryman is about, right?
Well, Scooby-Doo does have a habit. It's just not drinking.
That's right.
And then Gregory, you got Witch Police, who, like, you know, I just feel like between those two properties, this idea, this kernel of an
My
idea...
witch police would throw your laundryman into prison.
See, what's hilarious is when you first explained the concept of witch police to me, I was like, huh, that really sounds like Laundryman. But then a quote-unquote large Manitoban publisher told Gregory that witch police was one of the most commercially viable idea projects that they had on their deck. And I was like, what the heck's going on with Laundryman then? This is just a ripoff of our existing idea.
Right. Where you heard it here first. The grudge has begun. So it'll be your fault.
Perfect phrase to lead into. In most ghost story movies, right, where there is an evil spirit, there's a menacing presence, it is somebody who has died in a traumatic circumstance, right? And so in the kind of the lore of how this works, if we're going to break it down to kind of the mechanics of a powerful ghost, is caused by having a really horrible death, right? But
Trauma is the fuel.
trauma is the fuel. The more traumatic the death, the more powerful the ghost. But then this ghost goes around killing people in traumatic, horrible ways.
Oh, so would they stack up?
So they're basically creating
like
more
zombie
horrible versions of themselves. So there was a movie I was watching last night. It was a Korean horror movie called Exuma. Same kind of premise, like a ghost died in a horrible circumstance. He was buried kind of in he was buried in the wrong place, so he became an evil spirit. And he goes around like killing basically his ancestors, his family, and he goes to like kill a kid at the end. And me thinking like, as a new parent, if I'm a parent and this thing has killed my kid and then it kills me, I'm going to be...
You're haunting them.
You're going to be a far more powerful version of what this thing was, who just had like a not so great death and was buried in a bad place.
Right.
So here's my kernel for the idea, is a tormented spirit kills somebody in a horrible way, creating a much worse version of what it was. Right? And I'm surprised this hasn't been done in like all the Conjuring movies and all that. It's this kind of premise that like horrible death makes a horrible monster. That monster kills people in horrible ways. How come those things aren't becoming a worse monster of its own?
And how come like if that's so? This is always my problem with ghost stories. And just as a brief aside, I don't believe in ghosts, but I am afraid they're real. So
It's like AI.
right? No, that's a whole other conversation. But I don't believe in ghosts. I am afraid they're real. If like the house at Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, if ghosts are real, if the torment made ghosts, then that would be such a haunted place.
Yeah.
Right? But you never have the killer living in the house that's haunted. It's either the mass killer or the ghost. You don't usually merge them. So maybe there's a room for that. And by the way, is that the title? The Torment? Did we just figure that out?
Believe that's a series that's quite good as well.
Was there something called The Torment? Of course there is.
Maybe it's the Terror. I might be it might be open. Might be free.
Might be open. Not anymore now that we post this.
Yeah. But yeah, just because we talk about superheroes, kind of mechanics and the engine of like how superpowers work, how magic works, like kind of the rules of the magic, the rules of the superpower, the rules of the haunting is always kind of vague, and that's always kind of bothered me. How like, you know, this Annabelle doll, like what are its actual powers? You can't make a list because at the beginning of the movie, it's a creepy doll, and by the end, it's shaking a house and breaking windows, and like, so what can it do? What can't it? Like, they just kind of always
You want
leave it.
tight rules.
I want a set of rules.
Well, you have to think of the circumstances of that one can die from have dramatically changed in the last X number of years.
Yeah, so why wouldn't the world be so haunted? Here's my reason.
We're not diving into this, he said, this episode.
Oh, we're not.
I want this to simmer. So next episode,
Oh, no, I'm ready.
we don't have time. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, my God.
I want it
Here,
to
listen.
simmer.
This is the sound of me wishing we could finish.
Yeah. It's another, okay, we'll pivot.
No, I have to say my idea. So it's Circle of Torment. So it's because what you just said, the ways in which people can die horribly have changed dramatically over the centuries. So what if a ancient alchemical text or location, an alchemical circle was created where the torment would magnify, where the ghosts would become contagious for one another. Like what you said, the torment would increase each time that a ghost killed the person. If it was horrible enough, they would also become a ghost. So then you have an area on the map where there are ghosts from all kinds of different places in history and all kinds of different horrible ways where they died. And you're trying to survive them.
Well,
So
you just have to die in a super horrible way
Yeah.
to become more powerful. So you have a character trying to manufacture the most horrible death so they can be the most powerful
So
ghost.
you can be king of the ghosts
Right.
in the torment circle.
Oh, that's dark.
Right.
We can't break this right now.
Okay, yeah, but it's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. Okay, fine. We won't. You're going to pivot. Tell me something else. Tell me something great. Somebody takes my mind off a circle of torment.
I have a new gimmick.
Uh-oh.
Dear listener, did you know you can now follow Chasing Artwork on Blue Sky?
Oh, no. Don't do it.
I don't really have anything there yet. I never really got into Twitter,
You can
so
also
it's kind of.
follow me on Blue Sky, but at Jim B. Kamichuk has posted 0 things on Blue Sky.
Yeah, so Justin's already ahead of you at Chasing Artwork.
How often do you guys try out new social medias? Do you wait to
I wait.
do you see a bunch of other people going because we're seeing it constantly, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially on Instagram and Facebook, people saying, I'm not going to be on here anymore. I'm going to blank.
I mean, I always wait. I usually lock my name down just in case it takes off, but, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm so over it. In-person events are like where it's at for me.
Well, I find
And
too that's where
peer-to-peer interactions are more where it's at. And this, I mean, arguably a podcast is social media, right? We are being social on media.
yeah.
But this I prefer,
Well, there's no discourse with the public.
right? I mean, I want the public to show up in person and discourse with me.
Hello?
Why don't you want to talk to me?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
I've always found the in-person events being the biggest bump to all my social media things. And then I feel like it's a more powerful follow because the person has met you, right? There was an in-person connection before they started, reading your stuff online.
A more powerful follow.
Yeah.
That phrase scares me.
I don't get Blue Sky because I never figured.
You were never
I never played on Twitter, so Blue Sky seems. I'm always trying to I want to read the comments on this thing, and then it just goes for me to comment. I can't read the comment. I feel like an old man fumbling around with a new toy.
Guess what you are?
Yeah.
Guess what you are? Yeah. No. So, dear listener, if you are wondering whether you should put a whole bunch of time into your social media and you're hoping we will give you an answer, we can only tell you what we're doing, not give you any advice. If you were an early adopter, it's great. If you weren't, it might not be great.
I have been enjoying more and more. It's part of the art file for my paintings now is kind of the rollout marketing plan for it of how I'm going to post this in different ways, how I'm going to show the process. I've started making more time-lapse videos of me making things. So it's just kind of, I think, a benefit from doing stuff on social media. It's made my work more stronger. It's made my process more recorded, and I'm more aware of it. And I think if I wasn't doing this on social media, I wouldn't be bothering. If the artist, the other version of me that didn't do social media, wouldn't be doing this. And so
So like as a bonus, you're saying
I'm
that
thinking, like,
the
so-
artistic journey is there for all to see, and you wouldn't have kept such a careful record of it without social media.
And I'm doing stuff where I'm adding in like a bunch of like typography to make, more interesting, just like slideshow shots of the process and what's going on. Just so like there's just all these extra little design flares and artistic flares that I'm doing because I know where it's ending up on social media. And if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't be doing that work. So I feel like it's made me a little stronger graphic design hat-wise.
Yeah, I'm yearning for some fun platform, but it has not yet been invented. The one I want the most hasn't been invented.
See, when you started that explanation, Justin, I thought you were about to tell us that Adobe had introduced like a comment section under their...
It won't be long.
Yeah.
It won't be long.
There's some kind of weird share button that's really highlighted in all the Adobe suite that I'm scared to. I think it just goes to Behance. I don't know what it does.
Dear Adobe designers,
Stop trying to push AI. And
I love all the work you've done up until 2024.
Do you get,
But since the update,
either of you, do you get emails, spontaneous emails in your inbox of robot artists looking for work?
yes.
I've been getting emails into my inbox that I'm assuming have to be coming from my website, and it's people who are vaguely posting about, enjoying my work, and if I need to hire someone,
So many of
here are their portfolios, and the whole thing seems very scammy.
yes,
Yeah. Just the volume of them tells me instantly that's a scam.
Yeah.
I've noticed certain platforms as well have just been like, it seems like 90% of the community is now bots, AI.
Well, that's the dead.
spam,
That's
yeah.
the dead internet theory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That it's all just bots talking.
Bots
Just,
talking to bots.
yeah.
This morning I went for breakfast at a little breakfast place frequented by many young people, and I was so pleased to see how many of them were also scratching out, journaling in their sketchbooks. Like
Yeah.
there was, like I was there to like do some layouts and do some stuff like that. And
So you
looked
were
up-
on your device and they were.
No, I wasn't on my
you
device.
were-
I was just in my sketchbook also. But I looked up, like an old man shouting at clouds, and then I looked around and like nobody was on their device, and there was at least 8 people in the place that were just journaling or jotting stuff down in actual notebooks with real pens. And I was like, oh, lovely. Young people are going to be okay. Yeah, it's going to be great. So
to hear.
we're in a different time. One thing that Lyndon kept saying yesterday,
Oh God, this is my new gimmick.
which I think is funny, but maybe is not somewhere we want to dive too far into. But Lyndon kept saying, you know what, Gregory? I'm tired of living in unprecedented times. I would just like some precedented times.
I would love some precedented times. I'm so excited to be once again part of unprecedented times.
So that's how everything feels right now. Is you never know what's going on.
It feels like we've been in quote unquote unprecedented times for going on 20 years at this point.
Everybody always talks about how they're in unprecedented times going back hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
That's true. You can find actually. So in the Winnipeg archive at the university, they have a whole collection of illuminated manuscripts, meaning, ancient texts that have, been painted with gold and ancient stuff from the 16th, 17th, 18th century. And one of them had a marginalia piece, which I saw was presented to me. And it was basically written like, when will things get better?
Right.
Right?
It was in.
It was the same kind of thing, right? It was just in the margin of an illuminated manuscript, someone going through unprecedented times.
Newspaper from like Rome where it was like kids these days have no attention
Yeah.
and they're no hope for the future. And this was ancient Rome.
Well, ancient Rome, I don't know about ancient Rome, but ancient Greece is also covered in carved phalluses. So if you think
Yeah.
like, oh, how come people are always spray painting penises on things? It's a long and glorious tradition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like always holding on to the fact that if you look at the life expectancy from 100 years ago, I think for men was like 55. So you can say what you want about like the times we live in. I think it's a pretty we have indoor plumbing and heated houses, and I sell art for a living. So I'm never going to complain about being born when I was born and the times we're in. I think it's
It's true.
great time to be alive.
One thing you won't ever hear when the mics are off here in the studio from Justin is complaining about his state of his corner of the world. So that is actually, it's really important to appreciate what you have when you have it too,
Yep.
right?
Because it could change. Things could get, who knows, right? Like unprecedented times, things could change. So the fact that, we have food in the fridge and heat and a house and I'm pretty happy with where things are at.
Yeah. My grandmother came to the country. My dad gave me, so he was trying to sort of help with this notion of unprecedented times by giving me kind of like a pep talk. And it's like, things have been worse for the family before and they've been better and they've been, it goes up and down.
What kind of floor did your dad have growing up?
Well, it was dirt floor. He didn't have electricity until he was in grade 11. So the thing he gave me was 2 very small gold coins. And he said, this is part of a family tradition. When your grandmother left Belarus, she hid 2 gold coins in 2 baked biscuits, and it was the only object she had, and they were left to molder on purpose and then wrapped in a handkerchief so they wouldn't get taken away. So like some rotten food could make it through the border everywhere she went. All her belongings kept getting taken away every time she crossed the border. And he just said, like, it doesn't take much to start over was kind of like the pep talk.
Yeah.
Right? But I was looking at these 2 tiny things and thinking, I'm not strong enough.
I don't know if it
Like,
hit me.
I don't think, like, way to go, Grandma.
Yeah, things will be okay 2 generations later.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess is the story. And so if you take the long view of history, everything's going to be fine.
Unless the world explodes.
We just won't all make it.
Yeah.
But everything is going to be fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I get really upset if I don't have hot enough water for my shower in the morning. I'm a wreck for the rest of the day. So.
The whole day's ruined.
Whole day's ruined. So if anyone really wants to perform a psyop on Justin, right? All you need to do is adjust his water heater temperature on a daily basis, and you could totally mess with his whole vibe.
The water heater's working fine. What's going on?
See, the police are always off track with this shit. If they watch prom night, they'd save time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
What's it like to surface only once in a while back into the studio?
So this is actually a good point because we just recorded an episode with Steven, and one of the things we talked about was how when you're away from the studio, it feels like the studio keeps moving, and whether or not you feel you're moving at the same pace if you're not here. And we tried to emphasize that, like, there's not always something going on here.
This will probably come after the Steven episode, but Steven's a new dad as well. He's further along on the dad journey than I am. And we're also in very different circumstances. I am still able to be a full-time artist. Steven has like a real person job.
Yeah.
He has a 9 to 5 where he's away. So like already being a new parent and helping out the the workload on top of the things I want to get done already seems a lot, stretched thin isn't the right word, but
Your plate's full?
plate's very full. So if I also had a 9 to 5 and then also trying to be a dad on top of that, good, I don't know how people do it. Like, good Lord. Like
Already from Fran Walsh, like butter scraped over too much bread.
Yes, Bilbo,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
But we're in this great little bubble right now where my kiddo sleeps good chunks of the night and I take that first shift. We're bottle feeding so I can actually let my partner sleep while I do the first shift. And he's very good at sleeping 2-3 hours at a time. And so I'm able to work for those 2-3 hours at a time and there's nothing else I can do. So I find I've actually gotten more focused and getting more productive because for those 3 hours, he's in the bassinet beside me and I'm not leaving that computer.
You're right.
I'm there the whole time. Whereas before, I'd get distracted. I go do this. I'd leave the house, do errands. So
But your immediate presence needs to be beside him.
has
and
to be.
so you might-
I can't leave. Even going to the bathroom is like a quick thing, and then I'm back to work. So I think that I don't know. We'll see how things will go. But right now, I'm being I think more productive than pre-baby.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And the timing works out because you're not traveling yet.
It's winter. There's no excuses to go outside. It's no conventions yet. So I'm I don't feel like I can talk too much about it yet
About the
because we're
strange-
still in like yeah. So I can't quite have the
But you don't feel like you're missing out by not being here at the studio.
January, February is always kind of quiet time at the studio, like anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like we all kind of take our time and work from home and but yeah, I do.
And that's what we were trying to impart to those people who are connected to the studio who are feeling like, oh man, you guys sound like you're doing so much stuff. No, this is like our fallow time right now. Like we're being pretty chill. It sounds busy. I mean, I'm busy in that I have to switch my channels, but I get to do that like sitting in one place. You know, I'm not running all over. So that part has been really kind of delightful.
I do. I enjoy it. Yeah, Mondays I'm in for a couple hours with you guys. I would love like another day of the week just to be coming in and working. I miss working around you guys. Yeah. I think that's definitely something that's missing from my schedule right now, and I'm sure that's something that's gonna come back once me and Baby and Darcy all kind of figure our schedules out a bit more. So I'm not worried. I'm having a great time being a dad. So
Yeah, just enjoy every second of it.
exactly.
Even the worst parts. Everything is both same.
no bad part.
Right?
Yeah,
Just
it's
wait.
been
Just
all
wait
great.
till the pee gets in your mouth. Just wait. It's coming.
I don't want to talk about that on the podcast. It's- the amount of bodily fluids that have, yeah. Anyways, this has been Super Pulse Science,
that's right.
where genre is made.
Brought to you by Jackson Pollocks.
Yeah, I'm here with Jim.
Oh no.
Which Darcy discovered that. I love that it kind of stuck.
We're gonna start taking it on.
Oh no. Okay, well, since we mentioned it, did we mention it last time on the podcast?
Yes, we did.
So eventually AI will learn how to pronounce things that Gumby. Yeah, but until then.
I wanted to start a new segment with when we do postmortems on shows. Best part, worst part. So
Okay.
you have
Jimmy Con
you have
and
Jimmy Con
Gamatoba.
and Gamatoba. Best part, worst part for both.
Oh. Okay.
Mine is the same for both points at Jimmy Con.
Oh no. Okay, so
The best part was the worst part.
Yes.
well then you go first.
It's that my former teachers think I'm doing something special.
You are doing something special.
It doesn't feel special because you're in the trenches.
That's good though. You don't want to think you're.
Yeah, but then I'm sure it's been the same for both of you, but like when someone comes around and they're like, "Oh, you're going to be famous. Oh, you're
Yeah.
I brag about you to my students." I'm like, this makes me deeply uncomfortable.
I know it does make me deeply uncomfortable too. Think about it like this: they see the kite, right?
Right.
From wherever they are, they're
Yeah.
far away, and they see the kite up on that long string, but you're holding it standing on the ground,
Right.
right? And so to you, it's just like the hard work of like holding onto it in the strong wind, but
Yeah.
they see it from a far distance, and they go, "Oh, look at how high it's gotten," right? So it's okay. It's okay. It's a testament to your character that it makes you uncomfortable.
Well, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I think that what we're doing is, we're giving ourselves meaning. We're doing things that are important to us. We're expressing ourselves. I think these are all things that, common careers do not foster, and that traditional career paths do not foster. And I think it's something worthwhile to do and something that anyone who's interested in doing so should pursue. And, I'm always happy to encourage that and help people along in that path. But it's not like we're saving lives. Like, it's not. There's a big difference.
Yeah, like if the guidance counselor is telling me that they think that we're doing good things, it's like actually every day, you are doing real work to make kids' lives better. It's okay, like let's put it in perspective.
And
My
yet,
guidance counselor wasn't.
and always just the idea that people who can't.
If only you could have seen the look in Justin's eyes when he talked about his old counselor.
Or the idea that it's somehow brave or virtuous to choose a creative career that maybe pays you less money is sort of this idea that I don't support. Like, I don't like that all of society is like, you should make money. That's how your life finds meaning. And you're an exception to the rule if you can walk away from making money to do something that you enjoy doing.
How do we know you're not the killer? Huh? Huh? Hi, Billy. Maybe your movie freaked mind lost its reality button. You ever think of that? You're absolutely right. I'm the first to admit it. If this were a scary movie, I'd be the prime suspect.
Yeah, it feels almost unfair some days that I get to wake up really excited about my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But like it doesn't take luck to do that.
It does take a certain amount
Yeah.
of starting ahead of the curve. Like we can be real for a minute that like the country we're in gives us a
Yep.
certain affordability. The city we're in gives us a certain
The
affordability.
safety nets we have just,
Yep.
Just as Canadian Winnipeggers, the safety nets we have from family, friends,
Yep.
support system,
all those.
all those things. So it's really important that if you're trying to compare and you're feeling like, oh man, I'm behind, there's a whole bunch of this that is just luck. Just we got lucky.
Going back to that, we weren't born 100 years ago.
That's right.
That's right. This job didn't exist 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
It's true. Yeah. Not a thing.
Interesting.
So it was both like awesome because I got to visit past teachers and, feel like my goofing off in class has now been justified in both my eyes and their eyes.
Yeah.
But it's also, I really just like, you're a teacher. What you're doing is special. I'm just making a book.
That's right. Yeah, it's true. And
So that was my best part, worst part.
that's your best part, worst part is having to deal with it. My best part, worst part of Gametoba, my best part, of course, was I was having so much fun I completely lost track of time and took no breaks. Right? So that was the best part. The worst part of Gametoba was because I was so into it, I forgot about the people who were disengaging. And I would normally have some follow-up discussion and let them have, like, for example, if you're aware of how role-playing games function and you have a pretty invested, focused game master, DM, or whatever, the spotlight is on you and your heart for a short period of time. And then when it suddenly disappears, you can feel like, oh, and now it's over and I have to go somewhere else. I like to have a little debrief and let people know that like I really valued and appreciated the time that they spent or whatever. And I felt like there was a little bit of like where I didn't get a proper transition.
Because you were immediately going into another group.
That's right. Yeah. And I hate it when because people are just there for fun,
Yeah.
right? So part of the fun is like being welcomed. But then also a good host says goodbye at the end, right? And the worst part for me was there was a few groups that I felt didn't get the goodbye they deserved for the amount of effort, attention, and time that they completely contributed to the event. So that was hard for me and trying to figure out. And I actually went so far as to write that down for how I'm going to do Gametoba next year. And I talked to one of the organizers about building in a time slot that gives me a gap.
Actually, that right there, I want to put a pin in that. Great thing to do is at the end of a convention, making notes about what you want to do for next year, because you always forget about it by the time next year rolls around. But at the end of that show, saying like, I want to have more of this. I want to make a point of doing that. Really important to do.
And this became, we've talked about this before. It's a good habit. I have it as a habit. Anything that made me feel not great, I write down. And then what I do after, a day later, I highlight the ones that I have no control over, so that I know, oh, well, that might be how I felt, but I can't change that.
Yeah.
And then it gives you a much smaller list, a manageable list to be like, okay, here's some actions I can actually take. So in this specific example, it's like I can talk to the organizers to make sure that my schedule has a little bit of debrief time.
Right. You can fix that.
Yeah, right. It's fixable.
Actionable.
Whether or not one group talked over another group or whatever, those things aren't always under your control. So that was my best part, worst part of Gametoba.
Jimmy Con?
It's Jimmy Con.
Jimmy Con. Okay.
Yeah, we should have bought shirts.
There were shirts.
That's the worst part. I didn't buy a shirt.
I love when conventions have shirts.
Especially small shows.
Yeah.
Gregory and I were going to show up in our Jimmy Con shirts
Hey.
without you, the same way that we showed up in the New York shirts
Yeah.
without him.
Because comparable level of show importance was the Jimmy Con versus the New York Comic Con.
I spent the weekend saying, last year this weekend I was in Angoulême. This is about the same thing.
About the same.
Same cultural relevance. No.
Best part.
Best part was for sure, there was a couple of students that came back that I got to interact with, and I got to see them literally all grown up.
Yeah.
Like they are fully, complete human beings navigating the world, requiring nobody's help. They're making their way in the world.
You saw them at their worst, and now
That's right.
it all turned out okay.
That's a good way to put it. I saw them at their worst, and now they're doing okay. So that really lifted up my heart. Another really good thing about reconnecting with old teacher colleagues, in a school, people come and go. And there is always a core group of teachers that I call, or another group we call the Gets-Its. Those are the ones that know that administration is necessary, that a certain amount of administrivia is necessary, but that's not the reason why you are there. The Gets-Its understand what the real job of a teacher is. And one of the best parts for me was to see how many of the Gets-Its that I used to work with have not been deterred. Teaching has been hard for the last long while, and COVID did not make it easier for people. And the fact that it's like the pressure turned them into diamonds, it didn't shatter them, that gave me hope.
They held on.
Yeah. So that was a good part. But no t-shirt, damn it.
And we didn't win the door prize.
And we didn't win the door.
Not the worst part, but yeah.
Oh,
we do
this-
postmortems.
This show had free concessions for vendors.
Yeah.
There was
Well-
a cart that came around in the morning with coffee and muffins.
Dude.
And
I
like
would
juice
kill
box.
that at other shows.
They had trail mix
And like they came around multiple times during the day to be like, we have do you want some popcorn? Do you want some chips?
I've had a handful of shows will come around. The people will come around with the little menus. Like, do you want to order anything from our store? Like, you pay here, we bring it over. Like later in the day.
That's great.
I love when that happens. An actual cart coming around with coffee. Somebody could do that at most shows. They would kill it. Yeah. Those
But the
vendors, those
goodwill.
artists.
The goodwill.
Yeah. And they weren't charging for it. They just came around. It was
If
provided
they
by
have
the
anything
venue.
else for sale, I will buy it because
Yeah.
that's
I was like, I'm just gonna go give them money. Or
tip
go-
jar.
Yeah.
Add a tip jar.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. Well, so one of the things we've done today in Justin's resurfacing is talk about, he's planted the seed for a future story break.
Next episode, we're gonna story break.
We're going to story break Circle of Torment. Yes.
Yeah.
I've claimed the name. We've also talked about how important it is that you try your show kit. Even if you're just going to a small thing, or even if you're just going to set up in your living room or your garage or your front street, whatever it is, set up everything and make sure you have every piece that you need, because you for sure put something aside, saying to yourself, I'll remember to put that
Did you
back.
forget something?
But you didn't.
I did.
It was fine, but Lyndon.
I did.
Lyndon forgot some things. So that's definitely important, that if you are a parent who is wondering, are you cutting yourself too thin? The slack you should give yourself is on the art side. You're doing fine. Just pay attention to your kid. It's better. And we've also learned that Lyndon thinks that giant international French comic book festivals are no better than him setting up in his school gym at a school he went to.
Wee wee.
This has been Super Bulb Science. This is Jim B. Kamichuk encouraging you to join the fight and make comics.